I am Iron Man.
Hello there.
Avengers!
All right, welcome to Stars and Marvel episode 34. Little switch in the old genre, I guess Disney property. We're switching from Star Wars now back over to the MCU. So we're breaking down Guardians Volume 3.
We've been on a Star Wars kick. I mean, Mandalorian season was a whole season. But it's kind of funny going back to Marvel.
Yeah, I didn't. I tend to get like sucked into something, and I'm like, that's all I want to watch is like, we watched Mandalorian, and I've watched all the Star Wars movies. I just finished episode 3 last night.
That's awesome.
So there's 11 Star Wars movies now. I didn't realize how many there were.
Oh, and Solo. I always forget
Solo and Rogue One. Yeah, I always watch them 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, and then Rogue One Solo. But this time I was like, I haven't watched the sequel trilogy in a while, so I watched that one first, and then I watched 4, 5, 6. Or I watched the sequel trilogy first, then I watched Rogue One and Solo, then I watched 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3.
You did 7 to 9 first?
I really wanted to watch it. I was like, I haven't seen these in forever, and I really want to watch them.
Especially we talked about we're going to talk about them soon, and that's I really want to rewatch 7 to 9 as well. Like I'm itching for it actually.
Yeah, I'm pumped to talk about it because I got some things to say.
Nice. I actually Star Wars rewatched. Marvel podcast. We're going to talk Star Wars, but I on our I recently flew to go shout out Luke Yoda. Shout out Luke. Graduated from college. And on the flight from the graduation, I watched the last 3 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I gotta say, rewatching that, dude, I still really liked a lot of things of that
I rewatched the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
I think after I watched after I finished episode 6 or whatever, and I was like, ooh. I did enjoy the last episode. Like
I think it comes down to every time Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader were on screen, those moments rocked.
Oh, amazing.
And it was the storyline for Reva. Like it just didn't pan out. And it's so frustrating because like I started the finale episode, and it starts off with her on Tatooine hunting down Luke already.
Oh yeah.
And I just immediately in the plane like tightened up. I'm like, why is she there already?
Why? Yeah. How did she get there so fast? Like
and like actually to segue back to Guardians, we'll talk about this. I think it's possible maybe it was poorly done that it's supposed to be happening not simultaneously. Like maybe the Reva thing is supposed to take place after the Vader fight, which makes sense. Yeah. But I just don't think that was portrayed well, which again, segue, I think goes into one of the things in this movie that's worth talking about, whether or not something is obvious enough or not.
Okay. I don't know what you're talking about, so I'm very curious.
Okay. Yeah, we haven't. Brendan and I look. Cards on the table. We liked the movie. We both liked it.
Yes,
we both
loved it.
Great movie. But we haven't really talked details. So that's what's exciting about today.
Yeah. Guardians Volume 3. We're gonna get full Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I mean, number one, first off, I gotta say, the soundtrack to this movie is absolutely amazing. You got something?
I don't dislike it.
Okay.
I think as far as movies go, great soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like a lot of movies have crap music or no music, But in the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, I think it's the weakest soundtrack.
The weakest? Okay.
Still a great sound. I bought the vinyl. It's downstairs. I listened to it front to back. Like, it's great. I just think compared to the other two, like, I actually I go back and forth on whether I think one or two soundtrack wise is the best. I think two has the best soundtrack, and I think one is my favorite movie. But I three was just a solid third place soundtrack, and
Okay.
I just think there's a large range of music, and
I
it's not a
think,
bad thing. It's just
yeah,
different.
I think that's why I liked it, because there was a
Yeah,
large range of music.
yeah,
Because the first movie was like 70s, like early, like late 60s, early 70s
mhm.
music, and then the second one, like volume two, was like 70s, early 80s music, and then this one kind of felt like a mix of everything almost. Since it was unofficially the last Guardian, like James Gunn's Guardian, not unofficially, officially the last James Gunn Guardian movie. Um, but maybe not the official
He said
Guardian.
never say never. I
Yeah,
mean, that wasn't his exact words, but he did say something along those lines,
yeah. Well,
which you never know.
yeah, yeah,
I
you
mean,
never
hey,
know.
DC could basically that. I could see that whole thing crashing and burning, and he just
Yeah,
returns to Marvel. He's like, screw it, we're
so
Guardians.
fuck it, we're going rocket, we're going. But no, well, what I wanted to say about the soundtrack was that opening with "Creep" by Radiohead. Oh man, I've never heard that acoustic version before,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, that, and like the lyrics fit so perfectly with
Mm-hmm.
Rocket's story and with all
Yeah.
of their stories. To begin with, because they're all just a bunch of you know misfits lost in the universe that all kind of just found each other. But yeah, I mean, like those lyrics in the song like just fit perfectly, and like you see how like distraught and just a complete mess Quill is, like Peter Quill is, and Rocket's really, reflecting back on his time with the High Evolutionary, when he's got that, like, what we didn't know at the time was that like key card thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, it was an amazing movie. I mean, or
I
amazing intro.
I think that scene with Creep playing, like the acoustic Creep, and that scene is possibly the best scene in the movie. And
Yeah,
that's not anything bad about the movie.
no,
I'm
no,
just saying like
it's
that
just
intro
it
was
was
so good.
it's
And
set.
you're right. That song, and that's the other thing going to the soundtrack. I would say only two moments in my mind are like cemented by the soundtrack choice. And
Mm.
it's this and the scene where No Sleep Till Brooklyn plays.
Oh
And
yeah,
they're
yeah,
both just very good moments with, and the music just like solidifies how good that scene is.
uh-huh.
But in my opinion, the acoustic creep on the intro with Rocket just being, I mean, he's just got that I'm fucking tired
Yeah.
like
He's like,
mentality, right?
I'm just
And
beat down and so ready to not give up, but just so ready to,
close,
yeah,
close though. And then you're absolutely right. And then you have Quill, who has given up, is
yeah.
drunk as a skunk in this scene. Like it's everything about the scene is just perfection.
That
Perfection.
was like super depressing. Like
It
when
was.
he walks in the bar or wherever that was, and like Quill was just like
It's
slur, like, "Will you turn? You don't touch my mute." Like it wasn't even funny. Like you're like, oh god, like it was like cringe
it was
moment.
actually sad. Like it
Yeah,
was actually, and it, like, and you can tell too. Like we're in space. It's always like space time, but like it also felt like it was a morning on a weekday, like
yeah,
kind of a
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Like he was
Like they were just, everybody was doing their job, and Quill was just shit faced at the bar. Yeah,
like it's just shit faced that it's like 10 a.m. on a Tuesday or something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Like just absolutely like no one should be here right now, and
I
here it
forget,
is.
what, like, because I remember, it's been like a week since I've seen the movie. I know it's been a
Mm,
little longer for you, but like when
forgot about
when
that.
they like when in the beginning of the movie, like in that intro scene, I forget what everybody else is doing. I think they're just doing like their
They're
sort
just
of
helping out
daily
around the town.
routines on in nowhere. But but yeah, no, I really enjoyed that intro, and like just that shot of Nebula holding Quill and them all kind of coming together, like walking into the oh, amazing. And
And
I also like how they call themselves the Guardians of the Galaxy,
yeah, they just embraced the title. And it's awesome.
because they have like that
It's great.
sign with like that they hang up over the one, like either the bar or whatever, and it's whatever language. Yeah, it's
It's
written
clearly in
free
the
or
logo.
yeah, it's clearly guard, and underneath it does say Guardians of the Galaxy, like
That's why I
in
couldn't
English.
remember if that's what it did. I remember that, but it's really cool seeing that like alien language, like that Star
Yeah,
Wars esque language in the, and it's just got the Guardians of the Galaxy framing around it. You
yep,
just know you're like that's Guardians of the Galaxy.
that's good. Yeah, but
Uh,
yeah,
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 it it that scene was just great. It was just great.
And it also set the tone for like, this one's gonna get you. This one's not gonna be like the other ones. This one's gonna get you. Like
it also sets the tone with how much this is Rocket's movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, which is funny, not funny like a clown, like not funny, haha, but it's funny. It's like ironically funny because most of his stuff is a flashback. It almost feels like he's not in the movie when you take out the flashbacks, right?
Exactly, yeah.
But the flashbacks drive the entire friggin' movie, and it's like I saw a YouTube. One of the guys I like to watch is pitch meeting YouTube channel. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, you showed me that a couple of times. Yep. Yeah.
Great. So he did one for Guardians of the Galaxy. He was like, do you know how to make the most hateable villain since Thanos? And the guy's like, no. He's like, hey, do you like this puppy? And he's like, oh yeah, it's a nice puppy. He's like, yeah, boom, and he like punches the picture. And he's like, I hate you. He's like, yeah, that's how we do it. And it's like, yeah, dude, this villain, not the collector,
High Evolutionary.
High Evolutionary. Thank you.
Yep.
Wrong movie. The High Evolutionary, man. What a villain, because like it's funny too. The other thing I liked about him, I talked to my friend Nate. Shout out Nate. I talked to my friend Nate about the movie, and we both kind of agreed. One of the things that makes the Evolutionary really interesting as a villain is because he's not just evil. Like he's most certainly evil, but like he's not like Thanos, like I'm trying to kill half the galaxy, or like he's not just out for revenge or whatever. Like he's truly doing what he wants, and he just doesn't care about the repercussions. And it's like it's a very different, interesting villain that we haven't kind of really had in a while, or at all, in the Marvel universe.
He's like a mad scientist, basically.
Yeah,
and like,
dude.
We haven't really had that. I mean, we've had like, he's
like a Dr. Octopus, like cranked up to 11.
Exactly. Yeah, like he's just psychopath, but it's just something we've never seen before. Like you said, like it's just such a, and the actor was just amazing.
Oh, he was so good. He was so good. I'm sorry, I've read his name like 4 times, and
I just pulled it up. I've heard it. I'm gonna Chukwudi Iwuji. Don't cancel me. I've heard it. The one channel I watch, they always pronounce it, and they say it so crisply. And I always go to say it. I'm like, nope, not gonna happen.
Applaud to that. That's I truly like. It's just a tough name to pronounce. But like,
amazing actor.
He did so good. He did such a great job.
And I also really like how James Gunn includes a lot of the same actors in his properties. Like he was in Peacemaker.
I still have to watch Peacemaker, but
good. It's good. Very similar to this, how it's like funny in parts, but also very serious in other parts.
Okay.
James Gunn's wife is in this. She's one of the workers in like the factory place where they go to get rockets.
Oh, the flesh place.
Yeah.
The skin flesh. I forget which one they use.
He's in there. Nathan Fillion is in this, and he's in a bunch of James Gunn. He's been in every single James Gunn property.
I love Nathan. He's just a goofball. I love Nathan Fillion.
He's a great actor, but I just like that how James Gunn includes a lot of the same actors in his stuff.
I also just like, I don't know, man. This movie did a great, like, it was just a great narrative too. Like talking about the flashbacks with him, like using flashbacks is tough. It's not exactly an easy thing to do. Sometimes it feels like a cop out. Sometimes it's just not well written. But like, it kind of feels really well done in this movie. Like they're truly going back and forth between Rocket's mind and what's happening currently. Sorry. I do kind of want to talk about a bit of an elephant in the room situation. Like, I again love this movie. I think it's great. I don't know what I'd rate it. I really liked it. Like, I think I just really enjoyed it. I can't wait to rewatch it. I want to see it in theaters again if I can. But my biggest negative, and I kind of am curious who's at fault for this, and it's Adam Warlock.
I was about to say the same thing. Yep.
He
was a waste.
Yes. And I will say the actor who I forget about, like, his
Will Poulter, I believe is his name.
He does a great job. And quite honestly, like Adam Warlock, Warlock in the comics is a total Boy Scout.
He's like Space Jesus, isn't he? Like
he's like Space Jesus, Space Marvel Superman, like whatever you want to call him. Like yes, very idealistic. And so like him kind of being like a do what I'm told mentality, like Boy Scout is like very felt right knowing the character. But I wanted to ask you, like, what was it like? You knew nothing about Adam Warlock except what we talked about, I think.
Yeah.
So like, what was it like watching this character? Like,
yeah, I was expecting. I mean, from what I've seen, like from theory videos about the movie and like breakdowns and stuff, like you know, in the comics, like you said, Adam Warlock was, you know, like a extremely powerful character, and you know, I know he had like a big role in the Infinity Gauntlet and with Thanos and all that, but like, yeah, I was expecting more of like a powerhouse character, and he was just kind of like a goofball. Like, and I understand, like he's still technically like an infant,
a newborn or whatever.
Yeah, like he was just
born yesterday.
Yeah, but yeah. But still, it's like he's such a powerful character, and he just is such a bitch in this movie. Like
he really is, and not only that, it just he feels like an afterthought.
Yeah,
and it's one of those things where I think, okay, so I want to know who put the credit scene in Guardians 2 for Adam Warlock, because if that wasn't James, that Adam Warlock. Actually, this is I forgot I had this analogy in the holster ready. Adam Warlock felt like Sony Spider-Man 3. Like Sony was like, "Hey, we got to do wait, which one? Sorry. I got to remind myself how Spider-Man 3 worked. Spider-Man 3 was New Goblin, Sandman, and Venom. Sandman is the one Sam Raimi wanted to do. Fans wanted Venom, and Sony wanted to bring back a Goblin. So that's what it felt like. That's yup. And that's what this felt like, though. It felt like Adam Warlock was the end, like Kevin Feige was like, you got to use Warlock.
We got to throw him in there.
You got to use Warlock.
I feel like if they wanted to use him, though, they should have introduced him more in the Infinite, like take Vision out and put Warlock. You know what I mean? Like, or like make Vision less of a character and have Adam Warlock, you know, have the whole thing where he had the Mind Stone, or was it he had the Mind or Soul Stone in his head in the comics or something like that?
I don't think Warlock had a stone.
Oh, like,
that's Warlock used the stones. He's like he was the like anti-Thanos at one point, and that's what like you just said that, like you said, he was, it was just a waste of this character.
Yeah,
and to me, what makes it funny is because that was James Gunn. Like James Gunn was told to use Adam Warlock. He's like, I'm gonna waste this character.
Yeah,
like screw you guys. But like because I know like what he's supposed to be, I wish, like you said, they just didn't use him. But again, like all that being said, my actual issue isn't like that it's not comic accurate or actually or anything like that.
Yeah.
My actual issue is he just feels shoehorned into every scene he's in.
Yeah.
The best full spoilers. Oh
yeah. Yep.
The best example being the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I you know what's funny? Like so no one dies. And it's great. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I was very glad that everyone lives.
It was like an applaud moment. Like, yes, they survived. I totally thought Gunn was gonna kill them.
That whole scene when Quill was like,
and that's what I was gonna talk about.
And sorry if I'm jumping on your
thought. Yeah, go for it.
But I remember watching it. I'm like, he's not gonna die. Like, I was like, it would have been so much more of a build up to that scene of him dying, because it was like, oh, my Zune got thrown out into space. Let me go get it. And like it's just him running through the exploding ship and then jumping out and grabbing it. I feel like there would have been more of a build up, more of a like bravado to his death, rather than, oh, I forgot my music player. You know?
Well, see, and that's what like I don't like that they even thought that was good.
Like they did,
and I don't I think might have been Gunn, but like it almost feels too like it's just so Adam Warlock can come in and save him.
Yeah,
and it just. At no point did I think Quill was going to die for a Zune. Like, again,
he would have.
My friend made a good point.
Yeah,
if that was the Walkman, I would have bought that.
Yeah.
If the Walkman didn't get crushed in the second one, and that was his mom's Walkman, I absolutely believe Quill runs back for that Walkman and is willing to die for that.
Yeah.
But this is the Zune, and I know, like,
It was given by his dad,
right.
basically.
It was given by
Yondu.
Yondu, thank you. It was given. I'm terrible today. It was given by Yondu, so it was given by his dad. So kind of the same thing, but it just wasn't. We only had that thing for a movie, like
yeah.
And then they try to go through the whole like he went back for Rocket for the Zune, like I forget his exact word, but he's like I went back for you, and then hands the Zune to Rocket, and it was like, okay, but that wasn't like, I don't think you were willing to die just so Rocket had music.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. That's like, so that whole scene, that was just, again, and I think that was an Adam Warlock thing, because that whole scene felt like it was just so Adam Warlock could play the hero.
Yeah.
And it just didn't buy it at all. And
and
actually, if he did die there, I'd hate this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
like,
I would have been. I would have been pissed, because it's like, why kill him? Like, why?
For a Zune? For a Zune?
For a Zune? Like, if it was him saving, like, like you said, the Walkman, or like if he was trying to save like Gamora or something,
right?
Yeah, I would have understood that. But yeah, if they killed him for the Zune, it's like,
well, that was the other thing too. Is it's after everyone else is saved. He literally goes back for the animals are saved at that point.
Yeah,
he goes back for the Zune.
Yeah,
like, again, if it was someone else, if it was a breathing, living thing, like, I believe it more than the Zune.
Yeah.
But that is truly the worst thing, I think, in this movie, and it's just kind of, it just feels weird. But like, that aside, like, oh my god, first, the action in this is just awesome.
Amazing. Yeah.
Awesome.
Amazing.
It like I said, No Sleep for Brooklyn, that play that hits like right as they do the roundabout, like one shot like fight in the hallway. The whole group, Guardians of the Galaxy, is together again for the first time, including Rocket. That, I mean, it's awesome. And also a newly adult Groot, I guess young adult Groot, is great in this movie. From Kaiju Groot to four-armed gunner Groot, like, he is so well done.
That everything was really well done, and I did like that like evolution of Groot, where because what I didn't realize is that's not the same Groot from the original. Like,
right,
that's Groot's offspring technically. Like, it's not
Groot 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And but yeah, no, he was amazing. And but yeah, that hallway, that like whatever breezeway scene where they're oh my god, like when they were walking up to it and you hear the no sleep, I was like, oh my god, they're gonna play Beastie Boys for this fight. And then like it kind of cuts out for a little bit, and then the fight starts going, and it's like right in one of their verses, and I was like, oh, this is so cool. Like,
it was really well. It actually felt very like man, I forget the song, but for us, when we saw Kick-Ass for the first time, and you see Hit Girl go in the hallway, and
I don't give a damn about my reputation,
and like the knives are flying everywhere, like that's how good this hit in the, man. You play the right song during a hallway fight, and it rocks.
It will
and
do
it's great.
Amazing. Yeah.
And that's so I mean, the action that's the best scene in the action wise, but there's tons of it. And we haven't really talked about Rocket's story, so I feel like we gotta talk about that too. But like, I mean, it was just cool seeing everything happen, and it's funny watching Peter take a back seat in this movie, like, for sure, right? Like,
it's like it's about
it's good, and you look back retro. Oh my god, what did I just do? And you look back, and it's like, okay, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was Peter Quill's story. Yep. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is like a group story. You have Gamora and Nebula. You have Rocket doing his own little character arc. You have Drax like getting over, like, kind of opening up to Mantis.
Yeah,
and then you have Peter and his dad. Yeah. And it's a much more well done group movie. This movie 3, I mean, this is just Rocket's film.
Yeah, and I mean, it is such a like, PETA has even come out saying like they love this movie because it shows like, and I remember seeing that. I mean, like, I really want to like something that much. All
right, now I hate it.
Like, don't get me wrong, I'm all against harming animals and all that.
I'm all against the animals,
but PETA's just annoying. We're gonna be honest. But yeah, no, I mean, like, this movie, that whole time, like, every single scene when the High Evolutionary was like fucking with Rocket and like all his little friends, I had my fists clenched the whole time. I was like, "You motherfucker! You touch that bunny one more time, I'm gonna fucking slit your throat!" Like,
Oh, yeah, dude, his little ragtag. Oh my god. I mean, when you first see Baby Rocket thrown in the cage and he's trying to speak, and
uh-huh.
I can't. Does he say pain or
Pain
out?
or
Pain,
hurt. He goes,
hurt. It
hurt.
hurt, and I can't believe I didn't just lose it in
Yeah,
tears right there.
that whole like every time they did the flashback with like Rocket and was it Lila, Teefs, and Floor
Floor,
was the
floor.
the rabbit spider or whatever. Um like every time they had a flashback with them, I was like starting to tear up because I was like, oh my god, these are like, I was just imagining like my dog in there. You know what I mean? Like
You know what's
uh
funny about that is not once, and I credit this to how well the movie was that I forgot in the moment. Not once did I think, huh, where are Lila, Teeth, and Floor?
yeah,
Like if you stop to think, where are these three? They're obviously dead.
dead.
They're
Yeah.
obviously dead. Not once did I do that. And so when they die, I'm like, oh,
Oh my god.
you
Yeah.
mother fudger. Like,
Like
what did you just
because there
do?
could have been a possibility where Rocket escaped and they were
Like
just
hit him
left
off
behind.
planet or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Like, I think in reality, me, everyone watching, whatever, whoever, like, you're just sitting there like, oh, please live. Oh,
We
please
were
live.
just
Oh,
all in
please
denial.
live.
Like,
Yeah,
like no, they're
for
fine.
sure.
They're cute little animals. They're fine.
Although talking about cute little animals, I gotta say, I liked the rabbit. I liked Flora's personality. It was a cute little bunny. God, the claw, the
Oh,
like
terrifying.
face
Yeah.
covering was absolutely terrifying. And
Yeah.
part of
But
it,
like
I
just
think
such a
Val.
cute voice too. Like
I
to
know,
go on
yeah.
with that too.
They give
Like
it a cute voice. It like acts cute, even though it's a spider machine.
yeah.
Like truly, the legs didn't bother me. It
It
was
looked like the
just the
thing
face
from it
thing.
looked like the thing from Toy Story, like
It
the with
looked
the
out the
bald
doll
head.
head.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so fucked up. Yeah, no, Flora's the nightmare,
Yeah.
but like you said, like again, it's a nightmare to look at, but was so cute. Like, and
Yeah.
like you're sitting there like, oh, Flora's
And just
hilarious.
so like they were like just like innocent little bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When what is Sky? Like when they were like asking all this like, oh,
Oh my god. Rocket seeing the rocket take off, and he's
oh
like,
yeah.
Rocket. And I'm like, oh, this is it. That's how he
That's
gets
how he
his
gets his name.
name.
Yeah.
It's Rocket. Like, that's so cute. And then, oh my god.
And
I
not
mean,
to go.
no. I was just like, truly fall in love with those characters that
Yeah.
are doomed.
Yeah, and but just seeing the high evolutionary like interact with them was like, god damn, I want to punch you in. Like every time he was on the screen, I was like, I want to beat the shit out. I think that night I had a dream that I like beat the living shit out of him. Like or like someone of that like someone that was hurting an animal or
You
something like
hurt
that.
my raccoon.
Yeah, I was like, you motherfucker, like you hurt my bunny spider, like oh my
I
god, I was getting so upset. Like I was like, I just want like the actor did such a good job of being so hateable. Like
and it's funny. I saw a video of like I love the set photos that always come out with these actors after the movie is
mhm.
like released, and they showed him, the high evolutionary actor, on set like dancing and partying and like just being an all around goofball,
Yeah.
which just like shows that he's a normal human being and just a great actor.
Oh yeah. Just really good at immersing himself in that
Right.
hatefulness.
And I also I wanted to say that he I gotta credit. I think I gotta assume it's Gunn's writing here, but like they write him so in such a way because he admires. Well, I don't think admires the right word, but he's so intrigued by Rocket and helps Rocket so much.
Yeah.
You like again another like maybe they live because of this. You're like maybe he's going to let them all live because he likes Rocket, right?
Yeah.
Like, and in reality, that was why he let them all live. But then as soon as he was done with Rocket, he's like, waste them.
Oh, you were gone. Yeah.
Waste them. Burn, I think incinerate, I think is what he actually like.
Something like
crazy.
that. Yeah. He's like, and once I'm finished with him, incinerate them or something. Yeah.
And then too, like the present, Rocket was still the only thing that he ever accidentally created smarter than him. Was essentially what that came down to, which made the ending, like the end, like battle royale, so great,
so
like,
much better. Yeah.
Oh my god, it was awesome.
High evolutionary was just a menace, like,
Mhm.
and just a jealous, like, he was so jealous of Rocket because
Rocket.
I don't know if jealous is the right word, but like envious of like
Yeah.
how did I create you and how can I not figure out how to recreate you?
Yeah, it's pretty wild watching Rocket fix the problem, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend I remember exactly word for word what that scientific mumbo jumbo was, which was well done.
Something about something.
Something about something with the transformation of the mutants and blah blah
Yeah.
blah blah blah.
Something
And
about Ninja Turtles. No.
pretty much. And but like Rocket solves it without even like blinking, basically.
Yeah.
And the shock factor was just phenomenal in that scene.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, and he's just essentially spent entire time, his entire like Rocket's lifetime chasing like this thing. Like, what is he better at? How is he better?
Yeah.
And
And
man,
I sorry, I also like how the High Evolutionary kept, or at least not the whole movie, but like at some points kept correcting Rocket's pronunciation of words. Like he'd be like, "Nah, you can't do that." And he'd be like, "Can't, you can't do that." Like,
wasn't
was,
it wasn't he trying to make him like proper English basically?
yeah,
Like
like just like whatever. I forget. Did he have a British accent, or was he just like
I
very
want to say
proper?
yes, and I really hope that's true.
I forget. I think it was like a British affect, like
Yeah.
a just very proper English. Um, but yeah, no, like and like it doesn't really, Rocky just kind of talks like that just because that's how he talks. Because like Lila and all them don't talk like they don't talk like Jersey, like New York, Jersey
Right.
accent type thing. So
No
it's
one's me except me. And that's
yeah,
like Rocket's just
nobody's me except for me. Yeah, like that type of
I kind of love the idea that like he was listening to he was listening to the high evolutionary, but then like as soon as he's free of him, you got to assume he just dove, like he's obviously intelligent still
yeah,
present
yeah.
day, but he just dove into like being this like greasy furball that he was. Like he just was like, no, I'm gonna be me and
And
I'm gonna do what I want.
I like how this movie explains how and why Rocket is so like smart and so good with technology. Because that
Mhm.
was always one thing I was so like skeptical of. Not skeptical, but like critical. Not, I don't know the right word, but
He just
like
was.
confused
There
is
was no
like,
background.
yeah, like how can he just build a bomb out of like in Guardians 2, he like throws together some duct tape and some spare parts and Quill's ship and is like, all right, here's a fusion bomb. Don't hit the button until we're good to go. Like,
Right. And he does that in the first one too, right? Remember
yeah, yeah,
he tries making grenades or bombs. I forget what word he uses, and it's like that's when you see
yeah,
that he still has the gift from his mom, right? And it's like they just casually throw in, and I think it's well done, but they
yeah.
casually throw in throughout the series that like yeah, Rocket is smarter than
A
anything.
super
Like
genius.
he's
Yeah.
extremely intelligent, but
He's like,
he's lazy is essentially what
yeah,
it is.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I just love that.
He's like the Tony Stark of smart animals. Like,
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, we don't know, and this might be a lot, but like I would be willing to bet he's as intelligent, if not smarter, than Tony Stark. He just
yeah,
doesn't care enough to apply
to apply
himself.
himself. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's like a genius college kid. Speaking of college from earlier, it's like a genius college kid who's just like, if he studied an hour, he'd be smarter than everyone. He just doesn't care,
yeah.
you know. And that's it. Like it's pretty cool. Like in reality, what it is, it's just great character development, and
Oh
like
yeah.
seeing Rocket full circle in this movie is awesome. I'm looking at right now a still shot of like when he climbs on Groot's back in the hallway scene, like just
Flashback to
going
the yeah.
back to that stuff. Like, oh my god, like it's so cool seeing every side of Rocket in this movie, and it
And
just really pays off.
speaking of like that kind of paying homage, like from the first couple movies,
Mhm.
I just came to my mind. In the first movie, it's not in the beginning, but like Quill's the one that comes in and like consoles a drunk Rocket. Like remember when Rocket and Drax are fighting in the bar on Nowhere and like
That's
Rocket
right.
shit faced and like
Holy good
and like blah,
yo.
blah, and then this one, Quill's or Quill's the one that shit faced and Rocket has to come in and break up the well, I guess Quill wasn't fighting anybody, but
It just a depressed
just a
little drunk.
depressing, sad
Wow, that's
man.
a good that and that is it is a comparison to how like Rocket yeah, it's crazy to think about, but present day Rocket, especially post Endgame, like clearly like in his element and
Oh
clearly
yeah,
happy with who he is, kind of a thing.
yeah,
It's just his past that sucks.
yeah.
And whereas Quill now hates the present
Hey,
at the start of the movie, hates the present, and like it's all around hatred
it's
for him, and
yeah.
that's why he's a day drunk, you know.
Hates his life on
Um,
Earth. Hates his home. Hates his original home. Hates his new home. Type thing because he lost his love and all that. So yeah.
And you know what's funny? So I also saw an interview with James Gunn at one point recently where he talked about how did Endgame and Infinity War affect his plan for Guardians 1 through 3.
Mhm.
And he actually said he was happy that Gamora was killed off in Infinity War the way that she was, because he apparently was planning on killing her off in the second one
Oh
as like a kind of, again, as like motivation for Quill.
yeah.
But it didn't work out the way he wanted it to. So he didn't, like he didn't force the death. And he said that the Russo brothers called him and that they were like, hey, we kind of had this idea. Would this affect your story? And he said, he answered the Russo brothers with, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
And so
You're doing my job
advantage.
for me.
Yes. I think the only thing that, and I think they kind of skate around it, which is fine. But I think the only thing that the Avengers movies impact this is, I think, in my opinion, just slightly takes away from Peter returning to Earth. I think James Gunn always planned on his trilogy was going to end with Peter returning to Earth.
Yeah.
And it was like, he never really stayed on Earth, but like you're in the back of your head, you're like, I mean, he's been there. He came back like a couple movies ago. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, they were fighting at Avengers headquarters. Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so he was back on Earth. Yeah. Yeah.
And like, again, this is nitpicking. This is nerd.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
like overthinking. What, like, this is not at all like a real thing. But it's just one of those things where it's like, I mean, he was back.
He was back on Earth. Yeah. It's not his first time back in 30 years or whatever.
But the reunion for him and his grandfather,
yeah,
beautiful.
that was good.
Beautiful
That was really good. What was I gonna say?
Sorry, I know I've been jumping around.
No,
right?
yeah. I mean, I'm fine with jumping around. I mean,
Cool.
There was a lot of like, not filler, but there was a lot of like, I would say filler, but good filler.
I think
things that were one thing I wanted to bring up. First F-bomb in an MCU movie.
Oh shit! Yeah, that was so funny. I'm so glad I didn't have that spoiled for me.
No, yeah,
like
I sort of did, but I didn't realize what they were talking about. I saw like an Instagram post that was like, originally the Russo brothers had written someone saying fuck in Endgame, but they were like, oh, we don't want that to be our legacy. And that was the only thing I saw. And I was like, oh, I just thought it was like a, hey, fun fact of the day. They were going to put fuck. And then I saw that in the movie. I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense why they put the post up. But yeah, no, go ahead. Sorry.
No, so yeah, dude, I actually saw, I think it was James Gunn. It was James Gunn or Chris Pratt. So another interview I watched after seeing Guardians of 3, and they talked about the dropping the F-bomb, and they said it wasn't scripted. It was Chris Pratt improvised it. And it was actually like, he was like, you just get so flustered with someone and you just let it loose, and that's how it actually happens, right?
It was a perfect line.
It was I mean? Like, you push the button in and open the fucking door.
Yeah, like I mean, they could have they could have done the not proper, but like who are you? We're the Guardians of the fucking Galaxy. Like, you could have done something like that, but like I feel like what they did was more appropriate for a Guardians movie. Like and that open the fucking door. Like,
first, I agree with you. I think that feels more appropriate using it. Like, again, just like in
almost a throwaway.
Actually is natural.
Yeah, it's like a throwaway line, but it's still hilarious. Like,
but I also like, I don't need that kind of cursing in Marvel personally. Like that was another. So I think the scene you're talking about with the Russo brothers, I'm pretty sure they originally in Endgame had scripted that Iron Man goes, I am fucking Iron Man, or I like something along those lines, like before he snaps his fingers. And it was just right. Exactly. It was like, it just wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
Like, but like, that's what, like going to Guardians 2, right? He said, welcome to the Guardians of the freaking Galaxy. Only he didn't say do you know how funny that is? The way it's worded?
Yeah. like that's so much
if
funnier
you
than
actually
them.
just say fucking galaxy, it's like, oh, that's funny. But like,
Yeah.
you know,
And
it
especially because
didn't
it
use
was young Groot too, you know what I mean? Like it
yeah,
was like
it was
teenage Groot or
baby
whatever,
Groot. It
or
wasn't
baby
even
Groot. Yeah,
we gotta work on your
we gotta work on your who
profanity
taught you
language,
that?
whatever he said.
Yeah.
I forget. Yeah, no, dude. Like, it's one of those things where I don't need like I dude, unless like you know what's a good example too? Deadpool. Deadpool uses
Yeah.
f bombs galore in their movies,
But
but it's
that's who he is. Yeah,
but
like
he doesn't do it. But he's not like I fucking am Deadpool or something like that.
it's used like appropriately for comic effect, not just
Right.
for hey, we're an R-rated movie, we can say whatever the fuck we want. Like
Correct. And that is very important in this. And that's what like I don't need, you know, them to say fuck in every Marvel movie. I
yeah.
don't need that. I don't want that. Like this was so natural and it was so funny. Chris Pratt did it great.
Oh yeah.
Like it was great.
And the
It was
fact that it was
hilarious.
improvised makes it so much better.
Oh, it
Like
makes it because in his mind, if he was even that's the other thing too. I don't know. I don't remember this from the interview. Like he might not even been thinking. He might have just let it slip. Like look at just open the
fucking door.
But
yeah.
like even if he was thinking and like he was like, I'm just gonna drop this F bomb, he probably never thought that was gonna stay in the thing, stay in the cut. Like it was so good.
One of the breakdown videos I was watching, they were like, I think for a PG-13 movie, I mean, obviously you're only allowed to use it once in a PG-13 movie, and it has to be over an hour into the movie.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
I think the only situation I knew was once, and then also it can't be a sexual reference in any way.
Yeah. Like it's I know.
Yeah. But like that was the criteria I do. So then it also has to be an hour into the movie. So like there are these things you have to do in order to let it slide.
But and it was I think someone timed it out. And it was like an hour and 4 minutes into the movie or something like that. Like so they like just made the cut for like the national rating whatever thing. But...
Right. That's funny to think about. Like again, because I'm sure they weren't thinking about that on set. Like what? Yeah. They film scenes out of order. They weren't going like, oh, well, this is an hour in, so we're fine. Yeah. No, they're probably like watching the editor and they're like, do we make it?
How are we gonna slip? Yeah. How are we gonna maybe just add a couple more space scenes in there somewhere?
You know what? That flashback that's after the put it before.
Put it before. Yeah.
Put the flashback before. None of those were actually flashbacks. It was supposed to be like completely at the end of they just we'll put flashbacks
in. So to what you were saying, or I'm interested in what you were saying if you're ready to talk about it. How you were saying something about you said in Obi-Wan.
Yes, good job. I totally forgot about that. I wasn't going to bring it up, just because I forgot. Do you know now what I was talking about?
I'm still confused. Yeah, not confused, but
when they're getting ready for the final battle, essentially, I don't actually remember what specific moment it is, but all of the Guardians of the Galaxy minus Rocket, or no, Rocket might even be there at this point, are in the room. And they just finished their plan or whatever. Sorry, it's been over a week since I saw the movie. Yeah. They're talking, and all of a sudden, Vin Diesel goes, "I love you guys," and I'm like, "What the shit just happened?"
So I heard theories on what
which is what I want to talk about.
Yeah.
So apparently, James Gunn has already confirmed. That's the audience understanding Groot.
Okay, yeah, that's what I've heard too. Like,
and looking back, it makes sense because when he says that, the Guardians of the Galaxy at the round table don't react like I just did, which is what the shit just happened. Like they're just like,
yeah.
So like that's supposed to be your clue to they heard I am Groot and understand it. Yeah. We just understood him for the first time.
Yeah,
I think that. I got so taken out of the moment and I didn't think the context clues was, and I to be honest, I don't know how you do it better, but it really took me out of the moment.
Hearing that for the first time, I was like, what the hell? Like Groot's talk, but then hearing like like the reason behind it, I'm like, okay, that's a little more heartwarming. Like we're part of the Guardians now. Right. We've been on this journey with them for so long that now we can understand Groot.
I don't dislike it.
I just hope they don't like. I hope Groot doesn't talk in future properties because that would be weird.
Yeah, and that was the other, and I made the joke like Vin Diesel says I love you guys, because
Yeah.
like it was also like the most ever I've heard him, and it was like that's Vin Diesel. Like it's
Yeah,
not, it
I
wasn't
love you
Groot, it
guys.
was that
Yeah,
was Vin
that was
Diesel.
Vin Diesel. Yeah, but I did notice in this movie they used like actually Vin Diesel's voice. Like it was
Oh yeah,
like because like the original Groot was very like deep, and like obviously like baby and teen Groot was a voice modulator type thing. Yeah, yeah. Like, um, but this one, like when he was saying like I am Groot, like it was
it
totally
was
just
just,
Vin Diesel. Like
and it works. It's
yeah,
really like,
yeah,
again, he was a great casting choice for this character. Like
yeah,
as hilarious as that is, but yeah, no, I just, that moment, it just took me out of it, and that's what,
yeah,
like
yeah,
you said, it makes me like heartwarming knowing, oh, it's supposed to be we are part of the Guardians, but I hate to do it, but like it didn't hit as well as I would have liked.
yeah. In the moment, I remember being like, what? Why?
And then,
And I
it
remember being
just
like,
felt like,
why isn't anybody else reacting? Like, why aren't
right, and that's what, like, I didn't think about it till after the movie.
yeah.
I'm like, we're just gonna, okay, next scene,
I was like when I think in one of the Pokemon movies, Pikachu talks at the end or something like that. I think in one of like the
yes.
90s, like the early Pikachu, he like says, "I
So
love you, Ash," or whatever, and then people in the theater were like, "What the fuck?"
I think that's the remake of the, like, because dude, I remember I saw the original Pokemon movie, but like
Yeah.
he doesn't, I think they re-released it in like a CGI animation,
Oh,
and I
okay.
think in that they had
They,
Pikachu talk at the one point. And yeah, I don't know, I haven't seen but I know what you're talking about.
yeah, yeah. I saw like a video from like someone recording it in theaters, and people in the background were like, "Boo!" Like,
If it's not Ryan Reynolds, I ain't buying it.
yeah,
Pikachu
yeah. He's not wearing a detective cap. Not happening for me.
ain't happening. Yeah, but I mean, like I said, it was good, it was fine, it was fine, it was
Yeah.
fine, it wasn't like it didn't ruin the movie, but
No.
it took me out of it for a brief second. One other thing I wanted to bring up that, not at all important but deserves being mentioned,
Mhm.
the Kraglin Cosmo B plot
Oh yeah.
was, I mean, like, applause worthy hilarious.
The I am not bad dog.
Bad dog, bad dog. She's a good dog.
She,
I knew it.
yeah,
The payoff there, I was like, again, applause. Like,
yeah,
that
yeah,
was one of the greatest dumb, like, maybe even a C or D plot in a
yeah.
movie. Like, it just was just for shits and giggles, and it was hilarious.
But it's just so funny. Like
Yeah,
that would be like such an offensive term to a dog. Not offensive, but like like such a disheartening term to a dog. Like I am not
like
bad dog. You take that back. I am good dog.
when they're doing the poker night, and like
Yeah,
she's like doing this, she's like deep in the story, man, and she's got droning on, and then she just ends it with, never was I called a bad
bad
dog.
dog.
And I just started laughing. I was like, oh my god, it's still about the bad
Bad
dog.
dog. Yeah.
I
And
just I yeah.
and speaking of like Kraglin and stuff, I loved how they used the head of nowhere as like a pirate ship.
That was
That
so
was
cool.
so cool. Like I didn't realize it could
And
move.
I was a cannon.
Yeah, like that was awesome. Like,
That was really cool.
and it was
It,
also like an old god versus a proclaimed new god type thing.
that's, did you come up with that?
No, that I take credit
Ah,
to Screen Crush for that.
because that's something I didn't even think of. That's, yep. But like, to go into that, like, and we've talked about it a lot already, but that final, everything about the final finale is
Yeah.
just, except for the Star-Lord thing, everything
Yeah.
else was like
Amazing.
great.
Just-
I mean, even the final fight with the High Evolutionary, like,
Yeah.
like the Guardians doing again another like roundabout, like, just
kicking the shit out of him.
yeah, dude, it's great. It's a great ending, and yeah, dude,
And his
I think that's the thing is, I there are things, and I've said my share of them. Like, there are things that bothered me. Nah,
Yeah.
bothered me is too strong a word. There are things that I'm like, you think about it too much, you're like, meh. But like, at the end of the day, this rules.
Oh,
This
yeah,
movie
it was-
ruled. I had a great time. I want to see it again in theaters. Usually,
Yeah.
that's people's indicator. Like, if Zach wants to see it again, it's a good movie.
it's good. Yeah.
I gotta be honest. I haven't, phase 4. I mean, this is phase 5. The only movie since Endgame I've seen more than once in theaters is No Way Home, which I Spider-Man fan all day. It's gonna be up there forever.
Not gonna lie, I'm probably gonna watch that tomorrow.
Let's go. It's so good. But I'm sorry for the ears. But like that movie was just and obviously Spider-Man fan, like I nerded out. Like I saw it as much as possible. I really want to see this again because
I think
the cinematic experience
together,
of it.
I think when we saw No Way Home together, it was like your second or third time seeing it.
It's my second time, and it was the Saturday it came out.
Yeah.
I saw it Thursday, and then I saw it Saturday.
Hey.
But yeah, no, dude, this Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is like it's back at that level, and
it's definitely gonna hold up rewatchability too.
Yes, and I think a big factor to that is it focuses on its own story, and so much I feel like we're like so many times we're like, yeah, but how does this affect the larger MCU? And quite honestly, that didn't matter in this.
No, yeah.
And I think that says to how good of a story it is.
That's why I really do like the Guardians movies, because they really like the Guardians movies didn't have, I mean, other than the characters themselves, didn't have like the plots of the movies feel like didn't have that much implication into the MCU, minus the first one, like with the Power Stone and everything.
Sure.
But like it wasn't like building on to the next thing. Like the second one was like ego, like the first one was, you know, just them forming as a group, and you know, there was the Power Stone. So yeah, that involves into the whole Infinity Saga. That happened. And then the second one was more just ego, and like we got introduced to Mantis, and you know, there wasn't really huge implications into like the rest of what I guess that would have been like phase 3 or whatever. Like it wasn't building on to, you know what I mean? I don't know. It feels like a self-contained trilogy almost. I mean, I know it does branch off into the larger MCU, but it could fit as its own trilogy.
If I may talk credit scenes here.
Oh yeah.
I think it actually plays into this. You know, I think our biggest issues with both Love and Thunder and Wakanda Forever is Thor's new daughter and T'Challa Jr., right? Yeah. Like they just feel so forced at the end of those movies. In this, we get 2 credit scenes that are both like, you know, these all of them come back. Yeah. You get the actual Guardians of the Galaxy, the new Guardians of the Galaxy, which consists of, oh shoot, I meant to look. I'm so bad at this.
Rocket. Oh, sorry.
No. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. I'll tell the joke after.
No. Go.
It's bad. This is stupid. This is all things. It's ruined. But basically,
sorry.
You have Rocket, Monster Groot. You have Kraglin, which is awesome. You have Adam Warlock, which would fit. I would be excited to see that evolution, like him growing as a Guardian. But then you have that little girl. The whole thing was me just trying to say I never looked up who the little girl. I have no idea who that was.
Via Lavelle is her name.
What is that?
Someone in the comics that apparently was very important as well, and becomes Quasar, who is like basically like
I know who Quasar is,
like MCU Superman, pretty much.
It's funny how MCU has a lot of those. We have a lot of MCU Supermans, but you never see them.
Yeah, I mean she's not like specifically named Phi Lavelle in the movie, but like she's got like the same discolored eye and stuff like that. So
did we ever see her before that scene?
I think she's just one of the people on the high evolutionary.
She's one of the kids. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, is that? I have no idea.
That's what that's what I assumed. Yeah.
But anyway, my whole point is, so you get that scene, and then you have the second credit scene, which is just a really funny bit about Star-Lord sitting there eating cereal with his grandfather. It's hilarious. And then it ends with Star-Lord will return, which we'll touch on that later.
The legendary Star-Lord.
The legendary Star-Lord. But so both scenes, you have new Guardians of the Galaxy doing like a cool like run up to the camera shot, and then you have Star-Lord will return, legendary Star-Lord will return. Both scenes indicate like you could see all these guys again, but not at all was I bothered by it. No. Like it felt like it fit. Yeah. And that's what like the new Guardians I expect we won't ever see again, or at least not for a while.
Yeah, they'll probably be I don't even know if they'll be in like the Kang Dynasty or anything like that. They'll probably be in Secret Wars, maybe, since it's going to be like every Marvel character ever in movie, you know what I mean? But but yeah, no, I don't think we're going to see them for a while.
But like even if we did, like that send off, that's what it felt like, a send off. So
Yeah.
like it was a cool ending, but also if they returned, I'm not mad about it.
No. Yeah.
Like whereas the Thor Love and Thunder thing with the daughter and the Wakanda Forever thing with the son, those are like, oh, okay, Disney's setting up 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Like it really felt that. But even so, going to then again, the legendary Star-Lord will return. First, I was shocked. I thought for sure Chris Pratt was walking away.
That's what I
To
thought too. I was
confirm
like,
Star-Lord's coming back.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
So I've heard theories on what his return will be.
Okay.
There's one that's it'll be like like an officey Parks and Rec type show where it's like Peter Quill readjusting to life on Earth and like kind of being a fish out of water, like bragging to people like, "Hey, I saved the universe." Like, all right, you crazy person, like, you know, what actual work, you know, like him like applying to jobs and being like, yeah, I, you know, big purple guy Thanos, I helped beat him and I saved the universe a million times and I beat this guy that was creating other life forms and people, you know. And then apparently there was a comic run called The Legendary Star-Lord, and he teams up with the Eternals and
okay.
and does stuff. So that was another theory I heard of, is that's a way they could bring back the Eternals, is have him team up with them because there's some sort of cosmic threat and he's a celestial, like he's part celestial. So
I'll tell you what, you get me back interested in Eternals if you tell me Star-Lord's going to be in the sequel.
I mean, that would be a funny team up, like Star-Lord being like, you crazy ass alien hype, like you crazy ass alien android people, like what, like, you know, like.
We actually haven't even talked, like, again, this movie's so Rocket. We've talked about Rocket. Rocket's great. But we haven't really talked about Star-Lord too much. And I want to just say, too, the writing for Star-Lord's really good. We talked about when he drops the fuck word, but that was really just Chris Pratt being Chris Pratt. The fuck word. But no, what I specifically mean, though, is it's so funny how I forgot what Guardian Star-Lord was like. Because in Avengers, he's just a goofball, which I love. Yeah. Like, I love goofball Star-Lord. But in this, he's more of a bro again. Like the whole thing with the secretary on the Flesh World.
Oh yeah.
Like it was just like, I'm not that naive, or no, I'm not that stupid, whatever. Like after he like does the whole like charm thing, and she like, you have your moment. He's like, I'm not that stupid. I just need it in your system. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Like it's again, he's like, he is a pirate. He's a space pirate. He knows what like he knows how to like talk to people. It was really well done, and it was just a fun use of Star-Lord.
Speaking of that scene, the girl they like kidnap and whatever, she's also a reoccurring James Gunn character. She was Ratcatcher 2 in the Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah. I remember her. Mm-hmm. That's so funny. I didn't even notice her, but she's pretty like dirtied and whatever.
She's all make-upped up. So
the Suicide Squad, yeah, for sure.
And
I don't know. So I mean, the Star-Lord thing, like I said, the ending scene is funny, and however they bring him back, I don't really care. I just think it's funny, and I'm here for it. I love Star-Lord. I love Chris Pratt.
Mean, like you said, I was wholeheartedly expecting Chris Pratt to be done with the character because he's been Star-Lord for almost 10 years now, and usually, you know, all the other tenured actors like Chris Evans and Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., and I mean, he's basically just Tony Stark. You know, they're all, you know, made their exit. Chris Hemsworth, I'm sure, is on his way out soon. But yeah, I was just surprised that he's coming back. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I think he's an amazing Star-Lord, and he's a great actor and a funny actor. So,
yeah, me too, dude.
No problems with it, but
yeah, no, definitely for sure. It's a good thing in my book. I'm excited to see more. I definitely, I think I said this on one of our episodes, but like I thought if James Gunn was going to go out and kill people in this movie, he was going to kill everyone but Rocket and Groot because Rocket has had such a hard life, and we knew we were going to learn about his life. I think killing him like would have been too much. Yeah, like emotionally, like it just like you can't do that. But also, business talk, there was no way Disney was going to let James Gunn kill the furry raccoon. They can proper like
that'd be like Orphan Grogu. Yeah,
right, exactly. So that was just not going to happen. But like I fully was like, okay, you can keep Rocket and Groot and just recast the voices for like 20 years. No one's going to notice, kind of a thing.
You can easily find some voice actor out there that can recreate Bradley Cooper's voice and anybody can do Groot. I mean, not
Right.
not no shade to Vince. I almost said Vince Vaughn.
Dude,
No shade to Vin Diesel, but like,
they
yeah,
could AI Groot for
yeah,
sure at this
exactly,
point.
yeah.
So like, yeah, I thought everyone was gonna die. That's how they off them from the universe, except the CGI characters they recast the voices for.
Yeah.
Everyone lived.
No,
Everyone lived, and I'm happy.
Yeah, and I know Dave Bautista's out. He's not doing Drax anymore.
I mean,
He came out. He was basically like, I can't keep this body
there's a
anymore. He's
reason
like,
he wore a
he's like,
shirt in this one.
yeah, he's like, I'm in my 50s, man. Like, I can't keep doing this. So, I mean, hey, more props to you, Dave Bautista. You
Yeah,
fucking say
did a great
Jack
job.
longer than any of us will. I know Zoe Saldana, who plays Gamora, she's out.
Yeah, she doesn't want to do the makeup,
I-
but I'm sure she'll do blue makeup forever. That's fine. Yeah, don't
Yeah.
have to get into that. But
yeah.
Not
Oh
bad.
yeah, I forgot she's an Avatar. Yeah.
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 Think Karen Gillian's out, the girl who plays a woman who plays.
I'd be willing to
Nebula.
bet that she shows up here and there.
Yeah,
I'd be willing to
makes
bet
it
she's
appear.
not out forever.
I kind of hope they do more like how they did like a Guardians holiday special. Like I kind of hope they do more one-off ones with, like on Nowhere with like the children and like all the I don't know, like Kraglin and Cosmo. Like that'd be fun because they really wouldn't fit too well in the future like Secret Wars, Kang Dynasty type movies.
Mhm.
But I think they would fit more off in their own one-off.
Like I could see,
properties.
the only thing I could see in Secret Wars is being some joke where like Nebula and Star-Lord are married or something, kind of like the joke we saw in this movie, like that just like blooms into a full marriage. And like that's just literally it. Like a one-off joke like that for Secret Wars would be pretty funny.
That would be good.
But like that's it. Like that would never be like a main plot point of anything. You know what I mean? Like
no, yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. Good movie.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I mean,
can't wait for it.
As far as rating, I would say 8 out of 10.
So I was trying to do it while we were talking, and I'm just too stupid to do this. But like, I would say 1 is like near perfect. I think 1 is like a 9.5 at the least. So I'd say a 9.5,
especially for being a movie about characters we had no idea about.
Yes, right. Like we were completely fans of the series as soon as that like. Nothing. And for me, I'll never forget going to that movie and being like, this is the first time I knew nothing about a Marvel movie, like at all. I was so pumped about that. So that movie, like 9.5, gotta go. I think it's gonna be in order. I think I put 2 at. I don't know where I'm putting them. I think 3 is half a point less than 2.
Okay.
So like, if I said 2 was a 9. I'd say 3 is like an 8.5, maybe an 8, like something around there. Yeah. Because I think I don't really have any problems with 2. I think it's a little. I think it might drag on. But like this movie definitely drags on. Like I think if you wanted to nitpick, the Flesh World gets a little longer than it needs to be.
Yeah.
But like again, like I don't care. But like I think at the end of the day, I enjoyed 2 better. But I like this movie a lot still.
I will agree with you on 1. 2, for some reason, I guess I just haven't watched 2 enough. I think I've only seen it maybe 3 or 4 times. I feel like 3 personally, I would rewatch it more than 2.
Which is totally legit, dude.
And don't get me wrong, I liked Volume 2. I thought it was great. Definitely not as good as the first one. But yeah, no, I mean, they're all amazing. They're all. I think characters that nobody knew about.
Yeah.
Once the movie was introduced. Yeah.
I think I'm going back. This is going back to the start of the video. I think I'm going back. I think 2 might be my favorite soundtrack, and I think that's why. Like I like. 2.
I mean, it does have a good.
Oh my god, that's so good. Yeah, like it plays during the opening, and then it plays when like the battery scene. Like it's so. Yeah, I think the soundtrack for 2 is my favorite soundtrack, and so that bumps 2 as a movie over 3 for me.
Yeah, it is such a good soundtrack.
It's pretty great. But at the end of the day, I'm arguing like whatever the word is that I'm too stupid to remember. I don't know. Not descriptive. I don't know. We're nitpicking is what it is.
Yeah.
At this point, we're nitpicking, and that's really like at the end of the day, it's just a good movie. All right. So I'm gonna throw out 1 9.5, 2 I'll say 9, and then 3 I'm gonna say 8.5.
There you go.
Great ratings.
Great ratings. But just amazing movies all together.
Definitely. Like and subscribe.
Yeah. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let us know your order. If you got an order of Guardians movies, if you like the movie, what your theories are for the future of our beloved Guardians of the Galaxy, where you think Star-Lord's gonna next appear in the MCU, and I think it's gonna be after Secret Wars and Secret War and Kang Dynasty and all that stuff. Personally, I don't know, but
yeah,
we'll see.
I don't know. I have no idea. I'm having a guess. I will say, speaking of Marvel though, I think our next thing is Loki.
Oh yeah, I think
And
so.
I think Loki just got delayed though.
Ooh.
I think it might have been something to do. Although it had to have been done filming, so I don't think it would have been the writer's strike. I don't know. No, Daredevil got delayed because of the writer's strike. I saw that. So Loki might not be delayed, and I'm mixing up. I think Loki is next. I think it's September, and then we have Marvels in November. So look forward to more Star Wars, guys.
Yeah, and not to drop a bomb right as we're about to end, but I did hear rumors that Jonathan Majors might be being replaced as Kang the Conqueror because of certain allegations.
Yeah, you can't. I mean,
yeah,
the things are kind of
it's pretty bad.
If they're actual like proven things that they've been talking about, can't really brush.
I mean, they could pull it off as like switching him out, like, oh, it's just another Kang variant, and now all the Kang variants look like him. So like it's easy. It's easy to not easy to replace him, but they have a way to replace him. But it's just kind of like he's such a good actor, but
I mean, to go into this before the end, but like I think like story wise, like canonically speaking, it's an easy replacement.
Oh yeah.
I cannot fathom who picks up that role and leads as well as him.
That would be difficult. Yeah, that'd be.
I don't know if it's possible from a acting point of view.
Yeah.
From a story, yeah, they'll just say the rest of the variants are all this guy. Like,
yeah, like something happened in time, and now all the Kangs are this.
No, they're all this.
Yeah,
shit.
But yeah, as far as picking up that role after
actually doing it, yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna be and quite honestly, I could see an MCU collapse from this thing alone.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, we'll see how the Flash. If the Flash really impresses everybody in a month, then the MCU could see its end, not end, but its decline soon.
Across the Spider-Verse, go see cartoon movies. Cartoons are cool.
I forgot that was coming out, so I'm super pumped.
I haven't watched the new trailer because I'm like I'm seeing this movie. Like I don't need to do that.
I think I saw it before Guardians. I think they played it before Guardians. It might have been the trailer they released a while ago though. So, but
okay, I don't even remember. So I might have saw it and blanked it out of my head then, or I was getting popcorn, which is also true.
There you
go. All right, bud.
Yeah. Like, review, subscribe, do the things, and catch you on the next one.
Later.